This week, we'll talk about camera focal lengths and modifying your set. As we can see here, I have my camera following a curve. And if you look over here, I have multiple curves in the scene because once I had my initial good curve to follow, I just duplicated it because it was hard to get all these curves in this giant trench. If you look, it's long and it curves. So it took me a while to get everything lined up. So once I had a good curve, I just duplicated and then would move it around however I needed it. So in this case, I moved the curve off to the side so I could attach my camera to it and follow this shot of the X-Wing as it flies along, avoiding cannon fire. Now, the one thing you'll notice is this curve is outside the wall. I lucked out in that I did not have to delete this section of my trench. Now, if I couldn't have figured out how to get this camera inside the trench to get this shot, because if you move it, it will disappear in behind and you'll only be looking at the backside of your gray trench. But I lucked out in that I could just get it just right and see the X-Wing and be on the outside of the trench. I'm not sure why that works this way, but I lucked out. Now also you can see I have a 35mm camera. That way I could get the shot I wanted. If I was at 100mm, I would be too tight. 35 wasn't too bad for the width I wanted to show, and that worked out really well. 25, a little bit too wide. So you can change your camera focal length, and that will give you a lot of help in framing the shot you want. Now you'll notice as my X-Wing flies along, it flies up and down and rotates left and right to dodge the cannon fire. Now, as this X-Wing flies around, the controls for it, you can see here, I have adjusted the rotation, but the vertical is actually controlled by the curve. So the curve is taking the X-Wing up and down, but the rotation is provided by the X-Wing control that I have. And that is how I accomplish this side shot. Next week, we'll talk about my Lego-looking tower guns. I'll see you then.